Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleashed!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots and promoter for Plastic City Comic Con. And with me, is always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana and Surrounded by Death. What's up, man? Buddy? How's it going?
Oh, hanging in there, you know.
You're reporting live from your desk today at work.
Right? I'm in my office at work.
Nice. How was going back Monday after being at the Comic Con Saturday?
Not too bad. It's not like one of those. It's not one of those like weekends where you're at a Comic Con the whole weekend. You're more susceptible to con crud, that kind of thing. It was, Haverhill was kind of a nice low key show, free attendance. I felt like I connected with new people, new audience, individuals. So I think it was a good weekend overall. And I think we'll talk about it more in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We have a couple of guests that are actually at the show with us tonight. And they're also happen to be promoting Kickstarters and whatnot. So it actually worked out good because we had a guest scheduled and they canceled like last week. So it was like, it worked out perfectly, you know?
I was going to say, this is probably a really rare opportunity where we have guests at the perfectly timed guests that we met at a convention over the weekend on the show that Monday after. Like it was
yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of rare that we were able to do this. And it's kind of nice that we were able to slide them right in. And we can also have that kind of group collective conversation about Haverhill Comic Con.
Yeah, definitely. And the also thing that we, cause we and you went out for dinner and stuff after, and
That's
we went to Cracker Barrel, which if you haven't been to Cracker Barrel as a restaurant, they have like this really awesome like country store out in the front of the restaurant, but they sell a lot of weird and unique sodas. So we saw something that caught our eye, Bazooka soda. Bazooka Joe soda, which is interesting. So
it's a bubblegum flavored soda.
Bubblegum flavored soda. Now I've had a lot of flavored sodas, and I don't think I've ever had a bubblegum flavored soda. Have you?
I would consider you a soda aficionado, Keith.
I know. The only thing I think it's missing is like a little comic strip on the back, like a Bazooka Joe comic strip.
Yeah. Well, they all can't be a bottle of hot sauce where if you scan a QR code, you can read Surrounded by Death issue 1.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Actually, that would have been great to have a QR code to go and read like a Bazooka Joe archive or something. That would have been cool.
Call me Bazooka Joe. We can help with your marketing.
Or you peel it back and there's a comic underneath the label. That would have been a cool idea too.
Oh, see, you know what? It would have cost too much to produce. And then that would have priced themselves out of the market, right?
Yeah. But I'm eager to try this. So should we crack it open and do a taste test? I got mine too.
I got my Mighty Boston's bottle opener.
I got my bottle opener / wine bottle opener.
The thing that every kid from the 80s thought was a robot.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we ready to do this?
Go. Yep.
All right. Got a nice little fizz.
Yeah, nice little fizz there.
Let's take a little sniff test.
Wow.
Ooh, I smell the bubble gum.
So it smells like Jelly Belly bubblegum jelly beans.
It does, yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting so far.
Are we ready to try this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Cheers, Keith.
It's not bad.
All right.
It's very like okay, actually it's more of an aftertaste. So at first I'm saying it was barely any bubble gum, but now I'm tasting it a little more after the aftertaste.
So as soon as it starts to mellow out, you get a nice bubblegum flavor.
Yeah, you do.
But the upfront bubblegum flavor is like medicine-y and like,
yes.
You know when you go to like the dentist as a kid and they're like, oh, what flavor of like fluoride do you want? And you're like, bubblegum. This is the stuff they give you.
That's absolutely what it is. Yeah, definitely. And it takes a little while to kind of settle down, but it is good. For sure. It's not bad. I would drink it again.
I'm going to go back for my second swig just to, just to see if anything else pops here. Hang on.
Still the same. It's like you get that medicine-y up front, but as soon as it settles, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's whatever is at the upfront. It might be a little bit of the carbonation process that we're tasting.
Yeah.
Is it that kind of like almost like medicine-y flavor? But and like I think if they made it just a little bit more syrupy, like
it'd be perfect.
Like the way your sodas are, Keith. If your guy did a bubblegum soda, I bet he would nail it. This is like it's good, but it could be better.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, the Bazooka brand is known for like the comic strips too. They should have something, at least a thing to go to a website and maybe read a couple or something, get an off,
Or even Bazooka Joe himself on the label approving the drink, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not bad though. I would drink it again. It's not the best thing I've ever had, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah. Okay. So it's bottled by Rocket Fizz Soda Pop and Candy Shops out of Nevada.
Interesting. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah. Pure cane sugar. Gotta love that pure cane sugar.
Yeah, it's about 170 calories, which is about normal for a bottle like this.
That's like a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, bubblegum flavored soda. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the base flavor is good. I think they could do a lot more with packaging and things like that to make it sell it. So thumbs up for me, I guess, but not like the best soda I've ever had, but not the worst.
Yeah, I'm a little bit middle of the road. Yeah, I'm a little bit middle of the road with it. Like, I think it's good. It's serviceable if you're looking for like a novelty bubblegum soda, but it could be better. And I also think it would mix well with like if you took like a watermelon vodka or strawberry vodka and then you put some ice in there.
Oh yeah.
And then you have like a watermelon bubblegum like flavor.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty good.
I think this would be a good mixer.
I agree with you on that one. And so while we're digesting that, I also wanted to remind everybody. So I'm not going to remind everybody about the Indiegogo tonight, but I wanted to remind everybody that Plastic City's coming up. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, and our guest list is growing strong. Like, I don't know if you've seen our guest list lately, but we got some really good people.
Look at that.
Coming,
Will Murray, creator of Squirrel Girl.
Yep. Yeah, Willie Murray. Larry Stroman is a first-time guest for us.
Will Murray also wrote a novel of Tarzan versus King Kong.
Yes, yeah.
It's pretty cool because he did it all within the frame of like just the transition scene of getting from Skull Island to New York. He wrote this awesome Tarzan story in between that time frame.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I like Will a lot, and he wrote a bunch of Destroyer stuff, which I love that character.
Oh, Mac Boland, yeah.
So,
cool.
Keith Champagne is going to join us for the first time, so that's huge. I love Keith's artwork, and Keith Williams is another first for us.
There's going to be a council of Keiths
at
some point during the day.
We got Joe St. Pierre, who's been with us since year one, and Jim Lawson and Joe Schmalke and Alex Cormack are coming back.
Love all those guys.
Jeff Klein coming from Darby Pop.
Nice.
We got I guess a celebrity cosplayer, Katie Baker, Sean Wang, Rich Woodwall, my buddy Matt, who's as a high-end author. And then look at this list. It just keeps going on and on. These are all everybody that's coming to the show. So
you have and there's so much space. It's going to be such a bigger show. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so I figured let's switch it up. We'll promote a little Plastic City today. So
I like that. I like that.
So that's coming up August 19th. We've been able to keep the admission down to $10. Free parking for this year, but we got to figure out something for next year. Definitely. We were there today to check out what the electricity situation is on the floor. And they do have some outlets. So if we do want to do a video game like contest or something, it's that we're able to do it. We have electricity. But the thing that I'm worried about is their parking thing. They're definitely doubling down on the parking, because we pulled in and they had signs everywhere about parking $10 for events, or 2-day parking is $15. So they are definitely doubling down on that. So I'm hoping that we can bring them enough of a business, in their restaurants and stuff do really well, and then they'll think about waiving it for us every year,
or some modicum of in between, right? We want free parking for the event, but how much is that going to cost you as a promoter? And if you can work that into table price ticket costs, 50-50 in between, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we got a few people in the chat too tonight, which is great. We got about 12 people watching, which is great.
Nice.
We got Amy's Birdhouse. Good evening, all. We got our boy Harry. I'm surprised Cracker Barrel hasn't been canceled because of the name. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. But, he also said nice bouquet. Must have been talking about our soda review.
Our taste buds.
It would be funny if bubbles started coming out of your mouth. That would be funny, actually. Actually, look at if they get on that, Johnny, a soda that turns to gum after, kind of like that candy. That would start off as candy and then turn to gum. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Soda, a liquid that becomes a solid. I don't know if I could. I don't know if my mouth could handle that.
That's some Willy Wonka type shit,
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But and then Artie Extreme Party. Hey, what's up? Great lineup for Plastic City. Yeah, thanks, Artie. Good to see you here, man. Yeah, definitely. We're excited for this year's show. Amy said free parking for Plastic City 2023. Let's hope. Harry said
free parking for all forever.
Yeah, right. Just have parking at the Wallace Center and have a shuttle to the event. I mean, I don't know if people go for that, but it's
the cost of the shuttle alone.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. I think we're just gonna have to work out something with the event or with the with the company. So we'll see. This year, if we can make it the biggest year it was, I think we could definitely do something. So, and then it's Artie from the Geek Gossip podcast. We had them on a while. Remember the two young kids and the father?
Yep.
Yeah, I know the father Ryan is gonna be doing our Plastic City, and I'm assuming Artie and I think it was Jack. Artie and Jack are gonna be with them. I'm assuming. So yeah, that's gonna be great. And then of course we got Roger Morocco Jr. is present this evening. Yeah, what's up, Roger? Awesome. Well, I got a full house tonight. It's great. I
know it's great. A lot of people watching. We're always glad to have you guys tuning into us.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say without further ado, let's bring in tonight's guest.
Let's bring him in.
Let's get the show started. So let's start with the Ogle brothers, which is I think Travis and Tanner, right?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Absolutely.
Now, which one is which?
I'm Tanner. This is Travis.
Travis. All right, perfect. And then we have Jeff Lorentz with us tonight. What's up, Jeff?
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going? Yeah, that's great. You're great. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, when me and Johnny were talking, that we met all of you. Well, Jeff, you've done my show before, right? Plastic City.
Yep, I was there last year.
Yeah, we were there last year. How was the show for you last year? Was it good?
I had a great time.
Awesome, that's great to hear. Yeah, so I know you did the show, and then I think the first time I really talked to you though was this weekend at Haverhill, right?
Yeah, we talked in passing here and there before, but this is the first
that we actually had more than a one sentence conversation. Yeah, that's great. And this is my first time meeting Travis and Tanner, so that was great too. So
we just happened to hook up on on circumstance. I know Johnny, out of the kindness of his heart, over there turning out buckets for me, trying to find some stuff, and we just got to chat, and then we mentioned that we had our thing coming out, and the three of us just kind of looked up and. And
it was just like kismet, right? Yeah. Actually, before we get into the show, like normally we learn about all of you guys as creators and like how you got into comics and things like that, which I'm going to put a little pause on. But I figured, why don't we, since we all met at Haverhill, why don't we talk about that show for a little bit? Like, because I'd like to make a video afterwards of basically all five of us, our review of that show. Mm-hmm. So let's throw it around the room. Like, give me like your initial impression of the show. Let's start with Johnny, and we'll go around the room. Go ahead, Johnny.
So the notion I had going into this show is that it was established. They'd done it before, and it was popular, and it got good word of mouth directly from you, Keith. So I was really excited going into the show. Now, I know a library show can kind of be hit or miss for some people because it's just really relatively based upon how well it's marketed. I did really well at the last library show that you recommended, which was Athol. So this one, it was like, I kind of had my expectations in check. And in turn, I was pleasantly surprised. Real happy with the turnout that was there. Real cool to see some of the other people that were exhibiting. And we met these wonderful guys here too. So that was kind of a plus positive. So, and I said it to somebody at the table, I don't recall who I said it to, but it's like one of my takeaways from a good convention, even if it may not be financially beneficial, if I can walk away with a networking contact or just meeting some really good people, that's a good takeaway as well. And I think that, Haverhill Comic Con did that for me.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Travis and Tanner? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on the show?
I agree with a lot of what you said. I got turned on to the show by Mark Mastel, who I believe you guys are
I know Mark very well.
Yeah, he's been really great to me. We met super early on in my making comics, and he's been really supportive and helpful. But like I said, I thought it was going to be a low key show, library, kind of small. But I did well financially. It was one of the better shows that I've had. I only recently started turning a profit at shows, but this one, this one had a built-in profit too, because you only had to pay a percentage, instead of a table fee, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice too. That's what I was going to mention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was really nice for the library to set it up that way, because it makes it a lot easier as creators to go in there and be able to network without having to worry about making that overhead.
Yeah, and everything's profit, which is nice, instead of having to get over that table mark. But, like I sold well, and everybody I met was super cool. Met Jeff, was it Jesse? I got his last name.
Jesse, it's
Jesse Lundberg.
Yeah, Lundberg, right next to us.
It was Margaret who introduced
awesome artist.
Super cool guy, and
we got to sit there and look at a lot of his work throughout the show. It was a lot of great stuff. Absolutely.
Nice. And everybody, you scooped the alternate cover on Surrounded by Death, right?
I got both of the first and second issue, and I got the beans actually.
Oh, the beans. Okay, yeah. Jesse actually did alternate covers for me too. Somebody came over with one of the alternate covers.
Yeah, she showed it to us while we were getting it, and I have already broken into those coffee beans, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
they are
good
fantastic.
Stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
well, I drink
my wife loves
it, so it's hard to hide. It's hard to hide bad beans.
Yeah.
It was better traffic than I was expecting, and everybody who came, like sometimes you get people who kind of just walk by and look, but everybody who stopped by was really engaging, and like I had some good conversations with creators and also just people that were walking through. So I had a great time.
Yeah, awesome. How about you, Jeff? What was your impression of Haverhill?
Yeah, I had a great time. All the traffic was really good. Had lots of really good conversations with people. Depending on the show, sometimes you get people just kind of, you get the side eye as they walk by, but everybody was really engaged and you could tell they were really excited to be there, which was awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that's the best thing about small shows is that there was maybe 30 tables there. I would say maybe roughly.
Thereabouts.
And so with that show being as small as it is, you're easily, everybody that goes into the show sees every vendor that's there. And I think that's huge because when you're at a bigger show like Wicked Comic Con, the chances of you not being seen are so much higher, and I think that helps. Like if you can be seen at your table and what you're selling, the chances of selling go way up, so right. Yeah, I too agree. I think the best thing about library shows is that they are low vendor fees. So like this one worked in the way that the table was mostly free, but they asked for like a 10% donation to the library off of your sales. So it was almost like an honor system kind of thing. But I thought
which I forgot about and left, and now I have to mail them a check.
Oh yeah, because
I'm glad
you're going to do that.
Though. I'm not used to having to do that. I'm used to having my fees paid. And I was sitting at dinner I went to dinner with Mark Mestel and G. Michael Dobbs.
Yeah, the four of us are sitting and he was, and I was typing up an email
no!
before we even got chance. He's like, sorry,
that's funny. So Haverhill, if you're watching, you look for a check from Travis.
And so real quick, I wanted to poll everybody. When you paid your dues for the table, did anybody ask for a receipt?
I mean, I didn't pay mine, so.
Ask for a receipt. Ask for a receipt. It's good for taxes.
Yeah. I was gonna, Johnny.
Yeah, no, Mark actually made me do that while we were sitting there. I was buying your comic. He said, no. You got to make sure you get that. That's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Good advice from the greats right there. Absolutely.
Definitely. Especially if you are, definitely making it part of your business. It's definitely a good thing. We did a couple videos on tax stuff and being free.
We are not tax professionals. We're just
but we gave like our little tips and what we do.
That's a part of the game that I haven't really gotten into that kind of freaks me out. I've like I said, I've started making more money, and the prospect of having to pay quarterly taxes and keep track of all that stuff's pretty intense.
Watch the two videos me and Johnny made on the channel. Like you may find like what Johnny does works better for you, or what I do, anyway, it's not, it doesn't have to be daunting, which is good. It's just how you approach it, so
you guys have a great catalog of like practical advice. I was checking it out. You guys, stuff like your treasure trove that we're going through here, especially he's been a lot more seasoned in this than I am. I've only really been delving in this last year. I know this is my first big push out into having and writing, and it's following along this guy's coattails with his hard work. I know you guys received it.
I do a whole series on just vending at shows that you guys could probably pull a bunch of like little nuggets.
It's tough, I like I said, I recently started turning a profit. For a couple of years I didn't do anything, make any money, but I mean, part of it I think is my art's gotten a lot better, but I'm always trying to reinvent and figure out what kind of prints to make, what kind of deals to have, like this time I had a new print, I had some new kind of discounts that I think worked to my favor, but it's hard to figure out what works, and every show is different too,
Yeah, and the stuff that you sell now, you go back to the same show next year, it'll be something totally different that people want. So it's a game, man. It's constantly changing, and you never know. Know.
Do you guys are any of you guys doing the Western Mass Comic Show at Greenfield on the 28th?
I did it. I'm not doing this coming one, but I did it last year at one point, and it was okay. It wasn't bad.
The October or the May?
I think I did the October one.
Yeah, the October one's kind of slow. May is pretty sweet. So I'm
May is a
looking,
little better. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
try that one in May.
yeah, I would give it a try. I do both every year. I know Kit pretty well. He always invites me back, which is nice.
Oh,
but,
maybe were you there in October? Maybe I missed you.
I was. Yeah, I was on the fourth floor. I was across from Mark Mastel, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I probably saw you, and we didn't. You know, I didn't.
You know, you look vaguely familiar, so maybe that's where it's from. So
yeah, I was over. I know I was on the fourth floor too.
oh,
but I was across from. God, who was I across from? I don't even remember. All these shows kind of blend.
It all blends together, dude. It all blends together.
Yeah.
But as far as like a 1-day show with Haverhill, do you guys? Around the room, you guys coming back next year? I've been doing it for like
for
3 or
sure
4 years. I like
Definitely.
it
for sure. And I also just loved. I've never been out to Haverhill. It was a wicked cool town
In a beautiful venue. I mean,
Yeah.
that fountain.
beautiful
right there in the
venue.
middle of
The library's big, and a lot of cosplayers too, which I was surprised by.
Yeah,
For such a small show, you know.
It always surprises me. You know, you do the local shows and you don't think you'll see any, but people still, you know. I mean, I think cosplayers like any excuse to
And I mean,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some really
costume,
good
you know.
ones
So
out there too. There were some solid cosplays, and it was
Yeah,
really
definitely.
kid-friendly too.
But
There
the
was a
other
lot of,
thing
like,
that was
kids running
interesting
around.
was KidsCon was the same day up in New Hampshire,
Mhm.
and it didn't feel like the shows interfered with each other, which was nice, you know.
yeah, because it's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say thumbs up for Haverhill from me. It was
too.
profitable show, and
Mhm.
I too like the networking aspect of the smaller shows and meeting you guys for the first time and talking to Jeff for a little bit for the first time, and well, a lot of the vendors I kind of know a little bit of, you know, but I met a few other ones, and you know, so.
Yeah, I met a lot of people that I'm excited to, you know, keep up relationships with.
Well,
I agree.
You know, with those smaller cons, you get a chance to like make, at least to some small degree. I think we spoke to everybody's at like every different table at one point. You know what I mean? Because it's hard not to. You're gonna be there for how many 6 hours?
Yeah,
You know, and there's those little lulls in time. And I know that there's points where I gotta disappear. And he has to disappear.
It's nice to have him now, because for years I was by myself at my table, you know, and I could never really get up and go around. But he just moved here from Ohio this year.
Oh, okay.
And so now I have and he's willing to come to conventions with me, which I found is hard to. It's hard to get people to come to conventions with you when they're not involved. So
yeah, right. Exactly.
It's nice to have some support, so I can go and work the room a little bit and check out everybody else's stuff.
Well, it's,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
definitely.
when I've been writing since I was 16 years old. I mean, we've been collaborating with storytelling since we were small children running around with fake sticks and sleds as shields. And so I just told him, like, we've just been doing this together for so long, you know, and I'm going to ride your coattails into this, you know, and he already has the groundwork.
Yeah,
in,
this
so
now the
we're-
first comic he ever wrote is getting published.
Awesome. I love it.
I'm fine.
Nice.
This is my fifth in, you know, and I got it. But...
Yeah, so now I'm over here scrawling away as fast as I can, just like, no, draw this for me. Hold on.
That's
How about
great.
this one?
Funny, I saw that you wanted.
I was just gonna say this is a great transition into our superhero origin stories. And,
definitely.
and
Before
how
we
they
do
got
that,
started and what influenced them.
yeah, definitely. Any final words on Haverhill that anyone wants to make before we close out that subject? No,
Going
No?
next
I
year.
think
and
we
I'm bringing
covered
my kids
everything.
too.
All right, perfect.
we
Yeah, so
covered it.
Haverhill, thumbs up. Check that show out. Especially it's comic focused and indie creator focused. So that one's good. So yeah, like Johnny was saying, like origins. So yeah, I'd love to hear all of your origins. So like what I mean by origins is like how you guys kind of got into making comics. Was there something that you saw, like a comic you read when you were a youth, you know, that kind of put you on this path? Or where does the origin start for the Ogle brothers, and then also Jeff? I guess we'll go around the room here. Let's start with Jeff. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, so absolutely the big thing that set me on the path to wanting to make comics was the original Mirage Studios Ninja Turtles comics. Just
Nice, that's a good
seeing
one.
those two guys who really, they live real close by, just make something that awesome. Just made me want to.
Now, did you pick up that book from like number one, or did you kind of jump in the middle somewhere?
I was very lucky and got a stack of reprints.
Okay,
and
yeah,
some
that's right. They
originals, some
reprinted the
later
hell out of
printings
that.
of the original series at a flea market. I think I was 12 years old, and got a whole stack of them, so I got to read most of those early Ninja Turtles books, and
those early ones are excellent. Some of the best comics, you know.
Absolutely,
I agree. I could see why that would put you on the path to wanting to make comics too. It's like so indie, and it's like once you find out that those guys made that comic in their garage and all this stuff, and you're just like, I mean, it's the ultimate indie dream, isn't it? You know,
but local heroes too, right?
Yeah,
like like what you're saying, like they're in our backyard, and these guys, exactly,
absolutely.
They're not too far off from us as indie creators, right? And they were able to make this awesome thing, just like Jeff said, at like just the perfect time where it took off.
Oh yeah, definitely. How about you, Travis and Tanner? Was there something that you guys can kind of point to?
So, for me, it's like, so, I started collecting comics when I was looking young. My mom used to work in Worcester. I'd go with her to work, and there's that shop over there called That's Entertainment.
Yeah.
And I would go there, and I just get, random stacks of comics, completely out of story, eventually started getting into graphic novels. It was always something I collected, always something I enjoyed. But I was into mainstream comics for a while. The first like indie comic I probably read was a book. I found it at Entertainment. It was called Spontaneous. It's by Oni Press. I think it was Joe Harris was the writer, but that was the first comic that I like saw that it was like, oh, comics don't have to be, superheroes, and that's what that turned me towards indie stuff. And then the first comic I made, I used to be where I am. I'm a musician. I'm in bands and stuff, and that was my focus for a long time. And the band I was in split, so I basically had nothing to do. And I had a coworker who was a writer, and and I'd been drawn a lot. And I just went to him and was like, hey, you got a story that I could turn into a comic book? And he was like, yep. And we just started collabing. He converted the story. We did a 56-page graphic novel that we I think we did Indiegogo as well.
Oh wow! So you went out of the gates, huh? Making like a huge graphic novel.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I don't know. It was in retrospect crazy. Yeah, I should have done like some 5-10 page stories.
That's how usually, that's how people usually start, like being like part of anthologies or just doing like a single one shot kind of thing.
No, I was just like, what. Fuck it, and just went all the way, and we did a 56-page novel, and then I wasn't very good then, but the feeling of just getting that done and having that thing you created in your hand, like I got hooked, and I've been doing it since. I got another graphic novel that I did right after that, a 2-issue series that I did. I'm working on a third right now, and then this story with Travis, and and I just want to keep going. And then
I feel like we pulled a lot from the same pool when we were younger. I remember just getting a lot of like, and I'm almost ashamed to, as like a connoisseur now, saying that some of my first comics I remember reading were the Ultimates, and Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate X-Men. X-Men's always been a big pull for me. But I remember like I've always been more about writing. I very quickly, when I was younger, I was all about drawing. I taught him how to draw when he was
It is true. 4. He was much better.
Oh, really?
Wow. He was about 4 years old. I was about 8 or 9. And, I wanted to show him the ropes. But no, I quickly realized that I was going to get outclassed. No, but I've always found that I really enjoy writing. And I think the first time I ever realized that writing through comics could be very much like prose and not just about like, running around with superpowers and all this was a story called It's a Bird by Steve Siegel.
I'm familiar
it was
with that.
About a guy who wanted to write, who was writing for Superman, and while also dealing with like his family going through like MS and stuff like that. It's a very beautiful story, a lot of really grasping art. And I've always done a lot of like writing when it comes to like trying to put together a actual book, and then actually like doing a lot of play-by-post writing inside of like Marvel universes and stuff like that. But going out here and seeing this guy actually like, walking the walks and doing the talk and actually going to a convention with him, it's like, no, we can do this. Like, we've already been doing this, and we just proved that just a little bit of like nose to the grindstone, we can make some great things together.
Yeah, and this anthology that we're a part of was like, it just act as a perfect catalyst for it. You know, we were talking, we've had a few stories that we wanted to do for a long time. You know, a little too big of undertakings, you know, for like the first thing.
Always too big.
And then so when I saw this anthology taking submissions, I was like, I just went to Travis and I was like, look, I was like, boom, like perfect, like 6 pages, like let's make a story, let's do it, and we busted it out. And you know, we got picked, and now we're in the anthology, and now we're working on some other long-term projects, and hopefully just going to keep turning stuff out together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's
Plus
so
you get
funny.
the brother thing going, you know, which is
it helps with the process, you know.
Yeah, like I
to
said,
have
we
the same
we
mind,
draw
kind
from
of.
the same pool in a lot of stuff. So there's times where he says things that before I even get a chance to say it, and you know, we're able to kind of link together and make that connection.
Yeah, and then also
it's so funny. Like,
go ahead, Johnny.
oh, sorry, Keith. I didn't mean to step on you, man. I was just gonna say it's so funny that like there's more often than not us creators just want to tell our magnum opus right out the gate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like-
yeah, it's true, and you don't quite being your first comic, don't quite understand all the work that needs to go into it. You know,
Mhm.
that happened with me too. Like, because my first comic was a mini series, and I'm like, it took me 5 years to make those stupid 3 issues. You know, and
Well, it's tough, you know. Like I'm lucky that I somehow finished the 2 graphic novels that I did first. You know, I think I just made it a point to have to finish it. You know, however it came out. But it's hard to follow all the way through. You know, like I mentioned, the series I'm doing right now, Murph. Like I wanted when I first planned it, you know, in 2020, I was like, I'm gonna release it all right off the bat. You know, like one after another, and it's just like didn't happen that way. You know, I had one out in 2021. I went out in 2022. And I was gonna walk away. I actually was just like, you know what, like, you know, because it's episodic enough that I wasn't worried about it. You know, I was like, I was gonna walk away from it, and then, you know, and now in between projects, I spent a lot of time just practicing, trying to get better the past year. You know, just doing sample pages and stuff like that. And then I got to a point where I was kind of got tired of doing that, and I was like, you know what, I want to work on something that's, you know, a story, one of my stories again. So I'm revisiting Murph, and I'm doing number 3 now, and now, you know, I'm just taking a philosophy of like it's something that can get done when it gets done. You know, it doesn't have to be super tight and consistent and monthly or whatever. You know, it can be, you know, just something that I work on as, you know, in between projects as my life goes on, because I love the character and I don't want to give him up. But I also, you know, want to branch out and do other stuff. So, you know, just trying to,
as long as you keep it going, you know, I think that works. And before we start, because I want to look at definitely both of you guys' Kickstarters. I know Jeff has like a pre-launch page up. Jeff, how did you kind of make the transition from being a fan into making your own books? I know you've made a couple, right?
Yeah, I made a couple. I started out when I was young. I've been drawing comics ever since I could really hold a crayon. But,
really? That's interesting.
I've got
awesome
a couple dozen from when I was, you know, really, really young that I would, at this point, I would hate to ever show anybody. But,
that's how I feel about the comics I did when I was 21. So
yeah, I hear that. From my high school days. That
I can relate to that. I feel the same way. But I basically wrapped up college about probably 2 years ago, and I kind of realized that I really wanted to chase after that thing that I wanted so much as a kid. So I really doubled down at that point, and just started drawing. And I finished my first book, and I immediately scrapped it and then started on the next one because it wasn't quite up to snuff.
We're our own worst critic, Jeff. We're our own worst critic.
Yeah, like none of our first comics are great, and you look back at them like a few years later and be like, "What was I thinking?" You know, but like it's part of the process. The only way you can get better is if you do it. So you know what I mean.
Nose to the grindstone. Keep drawing every day, and
and I'd say the same thing with Comic Cons too. If you guys are just starting out, you know, you're gonna lose money a lot.
Doing
the shows.
I have stacks and stacks of prints that I've never sold, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, eventually the more you do it, you know, the you learn how to do like little things that make your shows better, and then eventually you start breaking even, and then you start making money. So I mean, I lost money, I want to say, God, maybe 10 years going to shows before I actually started to break even and make money. But I was living at home too at the time, and I was like, it's just money, you know. Yeah, who cares, you know, we'll get it back in one of these days, you know. But
hence the name Reckless Gleason.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I mean, I think we all have kind of similar stories in that respect, you know. Like you just find that path to comics, and you just make them. You just keep making them, you know.
A lot of creative passion, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of fun along the way, a lot of time lost in the process.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I always say that I'd make comics even if I wasn't showing them to anybody. So it's as much for me.
Yeah, you make it for yourself too. Yeah, got some nice comments too here.
I was just gonna say that's my policy, Jeff, is that I make comics for myself, and if other people like them, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
The Real Cartel. I think this is somebody you might know, Jeff. He said,
"Oh, hey, buddy,
Jeff Lorentz." And let me see, Sebastian. Thanks for joining us. I blame Keith and Johnny for getting me into undies. I think he meant indies, right? All jokes aside, one of the indie bug bites. It bites hard. Yeah, that's definitely
Sebastian.
true.
He was just wearing those boxers, and it was too liberating.
Yeah,
so he had to get a nice pair of briefs.
He said anthologies are a great way to meet other creators. Love it. Yeah, that's 100% true. And George in the house tonight. What's
Never
up, buddy?
late. We're all on George time.
Yeah. Sorry I'm late, everyone. What's
Never
up, buddy?
late.
Good to see you here. Yeah, so yeah, we got a great full house tonight. It's awesome. Great guests and everything. I definitely want to show off both of your Kickstarters and everything. So let's start with Jeff's first, because I know it's just a pre-launch page, but you also sent me a couple pages too. Am I okay to show those, Jeff?
Yeah, show them right off. I've been sharing them on Instagram anyways, so they're out there.
Okay, perfect. So tell us a little bit about the comic that you're going to be doing on Kickstarter, and when is it launching?
It launches May 20th, so this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah.
Right around
Awesome.
the corner.
And you go in 30 days? You go in
30 days.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
What's your goal?
$1,000.
Oh, that should
not
be
bad at all.
pretty
Very
easy
modest.
to hit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't want to get too crazy. It's just the first one, so start
Smart
off.
though, Jeff. That's the smartest thing you can do, is if you can get by with a very low goal, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
And then build up your audience.
More copies. I mean, I've just about sold out of so this is effectively a re-release and sort of like a deluxe version of a book that I've already put out in the world.
Okay.
I did a 100-copy print run last year, and it's just about sold out at this point. But that was in black and white. So this version, I kind of for fun, I made some like updated colored versions with some red halftones in it, giving it more like a vintage horror feel. And I got a really, really good reaction through sharing them around. So I figured I would do a new version of the book for the next printing. I wanted to get the whole vintage vibe going, and be a good
from the title, I'm getting a vampire vibe. Is that
it's more like a cult horror. It's basically what happens if your best friend gets kidnapped by a cult.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. Can you give us like a synopsis while Keith's going through some of the art here?
Yeah, basically the main character, he's kind of he's a private investigator, and he's looking for clues because his best friend and partner, who is also an investigator, has gone missing, and he's looking, sort of digging around the office, trying to figure out where he might have gone. And then
so is this like a satanic panic of like the 80s, maybe?
Yeah, it was that kind of vibe.
Gotcha. I like that though. This looks fun. I mean, not fun, but like, it looks like a good horror elements,
Yeah, the art style reminds me a lot of like the like pulpy 90s crime comics and horror
exactly
comics.
What I was
like
going
it a
for
lot.
was like that pulp vintage, getting that texture on the page.
Yeah, Jeff, you nailed it.
Yeah, it looks great.
You nailed it, man.
What up?
Wow.
So what's the details of the issue? Is it like is it a full like 32-page comic or?
Yep, it's 21 story pages. It'll be 32 pages in general. I've got a whole back section with a bunch of preliminary work and everything. It's the first issue of a 4-issue series. I've already completed work on the second issue and part of the third, so I'm well along in the process.
Well along the way.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, this looks
Yeah,
cool.
this
And
is
it's a
great.
private investigator trying to find this person in the cult kind of thing.
Yeah.
All
And then
right.
here,
Yeah, I
that's
like
where
it,
they
dude.
kind of break down his door and knock him out and drag him back to.
I like
their-
the aged paper. Like, is you trying to go for like a kind of like a newsprint kind of look or something like that?
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, I like it, dude. It looks pretty cool.
So what's the price point on the digital and the physical? I mean, I like physical copies of the book. So what are we looking at price wise for people who want it back?
So price wise, I'm doing the digital tier for $5, and that's like a deluxe PDF. I'm gonna have like a whole extra process section in the back of that. That's only available in the PDF. Then for the physical, it's gonna be $10 for that main cover. Then I've got a variant cover that'll be a little bit more expensive than that, $20, I believe I have it set at.
Awesome. The Real Cartel says we need the third one sometime. I'm sitting on a huge cliffhanger. And he also said I want
Working
them
away.
all. I'm gonna paste the pre-launch link in the chat here for anybody interested. Click this notify me on launch button, and that will go. I think it sends you an alert, kind of like when you on your Kickstarter, to let you know that when it goes live.
It'll
that
shoot
kind
you
of
out an
thing.
email once I go live on the 20th, and then it'll give you a direct link right to the project.
That's awesome. And
What
then
time of day you plan on launching?
I haven't quite decided yet. I was thinking of staying up until midnight and just click and go right as it hits midnight, but
Yeah.
you might want to wait till
see if
the
I can stay
morning.
up that
though.
late.
Yeah, you might want to wait because you want to capitalize on that first day as much as possible.
Right.
I would start maybe at like 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe, or 9, and then just kind of go through the whole day, you know?
I love that. Just there's like such a moment of power with hitting that launch button. It's
Yes.
just like
Kinda is,
it's
yeah.
like it's intoxicating. Like you got this button that just is like it's going to change everything for the next 30 days. You know what I mean?
It's the big
yeah.
red button.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
never touch the red button.
And Jeff, what did you say the issue was going to cost, or what was it going to price it at?
So the physical issue will be $10. I've got the digital for $5.
Gotcha. And then and shipping is like just a standard like $5 or something like that.
It should be.
Yeah, perfect. And are you offering any other unique perks or any kind of thing that people can look forward to?
Yeah, well, I'm going to do a big collector's bundle with everything that I've ever done, because I've got My Coworker's a Vampire book, and then I've got some like alternate versions. I've got some ash cans and stuff. We'll do that. I've got some original art that I'm offering. I'm going to be selling a couple pages from the book. I've got the cover art up for sale as well for that. Get that special 1 of 1, and then some other small bits and pieces. I'm doing I'm calling it the barf bag, goodie bag. Get some stickers and
awesome, dude. Yeah, and when you do a Kickstarter like that, you just definitely want to do like everything that's flat, like a fold out poster, a bookmark, all the standard stuff,
Yeah,
and
anything that can go right in that board with the book.
Yeah, like Johnny, there was that girl there that had the challenge coin, which I thought was a really cool idea for a Kickstarter perk. She was at Haverhill too, across from you, I think.
No,
right?
the guest that you had on the other day with Uncaped was talking about sending out pieces of rubble.
Yeah.
That had me floored.
That dude is cool. I like that guy. I met him. Johnny, you saw him at Saratoga, right, Mike?
That's correct. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like his whole marketing thing, and he's a guy to check out if you're looking for marketing ideas and like just how he sells his books and things like that. So yeah, I would definitely check that guy out. Amy has a Vixen Gamer was her name, and she had the challenge coin, which I thought was a really cool idea for a a perk. So that's something to think about for future. And it's flat, easy to ship, all that stuff you got to think about with Kickstarters and, Indiegogos and all that stuff. Yeah, this looks cool, Jeff. I wish you the luck on this. And you said you're launching Saturday, so that's perfect.
Coming right
and
up.
Everybody, I put I'm going to put the link again in the chat. So if you want to just sign up and, let Jeff know that, or let Kickstarter will let you know when it's live so that you can back it and help support the indie creators, especially on our show and stuff like that. So yeah, that looks
one
great,
more question.
man.
One more question for Jeff. Was it intentional to do it mid-month to mid-month?
Not really.
No?
It was more so I just needed to get myself enough time to really build up the pre-launch page, build up the launch page, and get everything designed properly. And I had the con I was doing last weekend, and then Free Comic Book Day, so it kind of worked out that I was able to get out there and really promote it a decent amount ahead of time.
Gotcha. The only reason why I ask is I've heard theories, and I've heard lots of theories. I don't know if a lot of it's just talk or whatever, but some people say it's better to launch in the middle of the month because usually at the end of the month or beginning of the month, you're dealing with rent or bills that are due. So if you're going mid-month, there's a little bit more wiggle room with extra cash.
Everybody forgets about all the money they have to spend.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's something to think about, I don't know.
I hadn't even thought about that, but that's a good insight.
Right.
Me, it's just get the book. Your book is at a good point. Let's launch the campaign no matter what the date is. That's how I kind of approach it.
That's where I was at. It was it's time to go. Let's pick a date and go.
But I like that because that's fearless. You do it whenever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look at that. George has saved it. So you got one person from the show. So
Thank
George
you.
is a great guy. You should talk to them about coming on their show too. It's Catch the Craze. Maybe they can work you in while the campaign's live.
And George is going to be on. And George and Lori are going to be on Comic Crusaders tomorrow night, promoting Gig.
Oh, cool! Awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah, we started running their promo on our videos, so check Gig out as well. All right, and then I also want to check out you got the Ogle Brothers campaign here as well, which
I just sent you an email too. I don't know if you'll be able to access it, but I should have sent you pages ahead of time. But I just sent you some samples if it's something.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look while we're talking about this one. So this is And Out Come the Comics, and now tell us a little bit about this campaign.
So this is a really, really awesome book being put together by Apollo City Comics with a collaboration with a company called Lesser Known Comics. Apollo City Comics is a really great podcast by Brandon Blocksdorf. Yeah. And I've been listening to the podcast, for a while since I found out about them. It's super, super good comics podcast. They do a lot of reviews, commentary, stuff like that. And Lesser Known Comics is a really cool company that basically runs Kickstarters for creators. Their whole thing is, treating artists like humans. You get to keep all of your creative rights. You get royalties, but it just offers a really excellent platform and support system to be able to put out your comics and to be a part of a community. And that's what we found with this. All these creators on this book are super, super talented and super supportive. We've got a huge group chat going and helping each other out.
I love that it's punk rock. And the first thing I was going to say is it's punk rock not to have a video. Very punk rock. I love it.
Yeah.
No, but I looked through the campaign when I was creating the show yesterday. And I just scrolled through and looked at some of the artwork on the campaign page, and this looks great.
Yeah, there's some really good, talented people.
I love. Isn't this cover is a riff on? Was it the Rancid's album?
Yeah.
Right?
So and Out Come the Wolves is a Rancid album. And,
okay.
Love that.
Yeah. I thought it looked familiar to me, and I was like,
covers the riff on that. We also have a great variant cover done by Jade Louder, super talented artist. That's his work right there in the story.
This one right here.
Yeah,
the rockabilly werewolf.
His
I love the style.
Love it.
Is that
Yeah,
would you say is that a rockabilly werewolf?
And that's what
Yeah.
I always get. That
he's
compliment just gets me every
Jade's
time.
a killer artist, and he's got another book out with lesser known called "It's a Horror Show." The date. That's actually going to be one of the things you can get with some of the perks. There's a lot of really great packages.
Look at all these creators. This is awesome.
Yeah, 12 creative teams. 60 pages of punk rock themed stories. That's the variant.
His cover.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
So another great thing about this anthology too is so Lesser Known Comics has done a lot of books, and they do it through Comics Wellspring, and Comics Wellspring has chosen to sponsor this book.
Oh wow!
And they're going to be doing a presentation with it at San Diego Comic Con with a variant cover.
Oh, cool!
Cool.
Yeah, shout out to them. I've used them in the past, and they do a great job on their printing for comics.
It's cool to hear Anthony's going to be back in San Diego again. That's where I first met him, and been using them ever since. Or actually, even before then, I've been using them. Love those guys.
Yeah, I've never used them, but I've heard great things. I'm excited to work with them. But yeah, so the
highly recommended.
Other tiers involved. You get a re-release of Wolf Punks, which is a story by Garrett, was it Benningfield and Dave Law.
It looks like Bigfoot Knows Karate's in there. Our friend, Dan Price.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. So a lot of the tiers are going to be just big packages of LKC books. You can get tons of the stuff they're doing.
We have patches, which there's nothing more punk rock than somebody could just
you need like the
deck,
pins.
you know what I mean? Oh yeah, absolutely. Just safety pin it on.
Yeah. Hell
yeah. And there's actually a Spotify playlist out there that is also associated for the book. If you look up
which I can personally endorse, is freaking awesome.
Awesome. No, these are the patches, right?
Those are the patches, yeah.
Yeah, these are awesome. These are absolutely perfect patches too for rock.
LKC also is, so I've funded a couple of their campaigns before. And I just got one, and they really hook you up with the swag. You get tons of stickers and bookmarks and postcards. So cool. The higher you get, you're going to get a huge care package of stuff.
Yeah, they're not shy about setting you up.
And funny, speaking of backers, funny enough, Jeff. We found out he's already backed this. We met him yesterday.
He was sitting
right, and I gave him my info, and he followed me. He's like, "Oh my god, I already backed this! Like, you're a part of this."
Oh wow, look at that!
Nice, look at
such
that.
a small world out there.
George said, "Great dudes over at Lesser Known. Mark is the man."
Yeah, Mark's great. Mark I just had a meeting with him today. Hopefully, we're gonna have a lot. I'm gonna have myself, and Travis and I are gonna have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline with them. So
George wants me to post the link. You guys have got his money as well. So
hell yeah, thanks for
it in here.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, see, so we always push the needle a little bit on this show, if anything.
Yeah, and
a little bit.
Campaign's been great. We set a low goal of 1,000, and we're at 3,500 now, so 3 times the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that you guys hit it. So congrats on that. Now, are the stories? Are they? What are they about exactly? Are they about like the punk rock business, or are they?
So they're all different. It's literally the only thread that is punk rock themed. So all different genres, all different types of stories. Ours is like a junk cyberpunk kind of thing.
I got your email. Let me bring it up here too. I was meaning to take a look at that.
Let's take a closer look.
Yeah, it's a Google Drive link if you can.
I mean, it's the stories are all kind of over the place. I mean, you got some stuff that's kind of slap happy and silly. You have some stuff that's just straight up metal.
Yeah. So this is our story here.
Oh wow, your artwork is really good.
Thank you,
Tanner. Yeah, it's really good.
This is a story about a girl whose father is like a artist / like junk weapons maker who dies and leaves her his yard, and she has to deal with some of his old enemies showing up.
Interesting.
And she ends up donning a jukebox robot suit to fight them off,
which we so lovingly named.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, we've named the Jukebot.
That's great. This looks great,
Love
man.
that.
Letters by Mark Mastel.
Yeah, did a
There's-
Oh,
fantastic
nice.
job.
Mark
right there.
got in and helped you guys. That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say the lettering is really nice on this too.
Yeah.
Like especially, I love this. Wham! That's a
Oh,
great.
thanks. Yeah, that's actually hand lettered on the that's part of the art.
That's a part of the art. That's
Oh, you did that? Yeah, that's
Yep.
great.
Mhm.
Awesome.
It,
Yeah.
Even the art style feel in and of itself feels very punk rock, very American Splendor-ish,
Thanks.
fringe indie comics, which is very I like.
Yeah,
that. I think it's
nice
very cool.
backgrounds too. All the characters have a nice look about them. Yeah, this looks cool, dude.
Thank
Really
you.
good.
Yeah, there's a lot of garbage and junk and trash and stuff. You know.
Yeah, you need that for the punk rock scene.
Mhm, mhm.
Are you guys
Yeah.
former punk rockers yourself, or?
I think everybody is a little bit, but you know.
I
Yeah.
definitely remember one point going school shopping with my mother and buying all black, and her saying, "I'm not going to survive you being a teenager."
I've always said that it's like punk rock. Either you can conform, or you can either age gracefully and conform, or you can ride punk rock until you die into the ground, flaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's human nature really to just fight any sort of authority and just want to flip off the man,
Yeah,
so-
right. You got like those
Absolutely.
years where you're just like F
Mhm.
everybody, you know.
Yeah, no, it's human nature to
Well,
just
you know,
resist.
and I think you keep it your whole life,
Yeah.
but you know you don't necessarily have to wear a studded belt
It's
to,
just-
to do
remember
that.
said I didn't.
Well,
I
mean,
buy it. I sell out.
in
I
some
bought it.
respects, comics are punk rock if you think about it. You know,
Yeah,
especially
that's
indie
true.
comics. You know, so
Oh yeah, indie comics exactly.
hell yeah. So what rewards are you guys, or is there certain perk levels that you guys are recommending to readers and things like that?
I mean, you know, they're all great. I honestly, I would recommend if you can't afford it to go for the LKC package, because you're gonna get, you know, I think it's like $30 and
one right here?
upwards, upwards of
no,
$30.
this-
Yeah, and you get a ton of different lesser known comics books. You know, and if you it's the $40 one there. Yeah, it's got
This one, the punk pack
Mhm.
physical.
That's the punk pack physical. That's my favorite here because I always like having a physical comic. In
I am
hand.
too. I'm more physical than I am digital,
Mhm.
but
And
I
I know
do
I'm excited
support
about the
sometimes
release
and
for
buy
Wolfpack.
digital copies just to support certain
Mhm.
creators. You know, but yeah, that I haven't heard of lesser known comics, so I'll have to
Yeah,
check them out.
give them a follow. They're really great. I'm really excited to work with them because, you know, like I said, they're focusing on treating artists like humans and just
That's
just,
huge.
just being
That's
a
respectable,
support
yeah.
network, being a support network for, you know, helping people make books, you know, because I've made a lot of books by myself, and you know, it's a lot to handle yourself, and I'm really excited to have somebody to work with to help out with the process, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
fantastic
definitely.
experience being with the community.
Harry says, after watching Gem and the Holograms, I'd say F everybody.
That's
And George
hilarious.
said, done deal, Indie Comics Relay, always move the needle and take my cash, and I love it. Support indies. All right. Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think we got you another backer at least.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
so that's great. Yeah, this looks cool. I mean, I had my little my little punk rock phase in high school.
Mhm.
You know, I don't really listen to much music nowadays, but this looks cool. This looks fun. And I know Mark really well too. So you know, definitely.
Mhm.
When is this going to? Because
This
9
is
days left,
till the 25th. Got 9 days left. Yeah.
and then is lesser known gonna be? I'm assuming they'll be selling this direct. After
Yeah, so
that?
they have a website they continue to print stuff after the initial Kickstarters. They have a backlog, and on their website you'll be able to get this book, and then you'll also be able to see other, because I know that Brandon from Apollo City, he has a sneak peek to his upcoming book Teenage Babylon coming out in this, so that you're going to get a sneak peek at that story, and then you'll be able to follow up with that story with LKC. Jade also, that, you know, the Rockabilly Werewolf, as he said, that is in, you know, a part of his It's a Horror Show series, you know, so there's a lot of overlap with other LKC titles that you'll be able to follow up afterwards.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check these
Cool.
guys out. I have not. Have you heard of lesser known, Johnny?
I've not actually. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check these guys out. Like I
They're
like what you're
quite
saying
lesser
that they're.
known.
Yeah, right. That's,
Yeah.
that's punk rock in a
In the
lot of
name,
ways,
you
you know. But also, like, I love publishers that do treat indie creators respectfully and not trying to exploit them and things like that. So that's always a huge plus in my eyes, you know. So what do you, after this, what do you guys got planned after the punk rock? You guys gonna doing another anthology, or
so what we got coming down the pipeline, for me personally, so you know, I talked about my series Murph that I have gone on and off with. So what I'm working on right now while we write together is I'm going to be re-lettering and re-releasing a collection of the first 2 issues of Murph. And I'm also working on a 3rd issue that's going to be fully colored as opposed to the black and white that the previous ones are. And that in various forms might be coming down the pipeline with LKC.
cool.
And
well, as far as collaborative work goes, I actually just dropped off a nice script here for him, and we're working on a couple different stories delving into the kind of like a horror genre sort of deal here, and a couple different stories, and kind of we're working our way through a couple different genres to kind of find our voice and just kind of see.
Keep going, just make books and get better and better.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a 10-page short, and then a longer format, maybe in the 40-page range, small graphic novel thing. So you know,
the 10-pager is more of like just like a straight writing on my end with the art directly from him, but then the larger book is more of like the story by the both of us with the I get a little bit more of like the details out with the writing, and then you have the artwork from him. So it's a true like collaborative piece between the Ogle brothers. You know,
I love it. And how about you, Jeff? Anything you got planned after your Kickstarter?
Yeah, well, after Skin of My Teeth, I'm part of an anthology called Golden Domain. We'll be putting that out, probably running a pre-order for that sometime in June. Okay. That's all old public domain characters, and we got a whole bunch of really cool people on that.
That's cool. Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so we've been going about an hour and 10 minutes. So I know Johnny is on a time crunch tonight. I have to get up early tomorrow. But before we start closing this out, I definitely want to mention that we are back live next Monday. Johnny, I don't know if you knew that, because we're going to be doing. We're going to do a show next Monday. That way we're not doing a show on Labor Day, or not Labor Day, Memorial Day. So, and we're not sure what the viewership would be like on that on the Memorial Day Monday.
We'll be talking to each other, Keith.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be back next Monday as well. Did you guys have any, do you guys want to throw out any of your social media or anything before we wrap up this show?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, just at Tanner T. Ogle. I try to post at least once a week art that I've been working on, updates on all my projects. And he's at travis.d.ogle.
And also on Instagram, just brand new. There's like 3 posts, but I'm there. I promise.
Yep, got to build that presence, right? Especially if you're making comics. Yeah, definitely. And anywhere else they can find you? Or you guys primarily on Instagram?
Mostly Instagram. I mean, my Facebook I have a Facebook page under the same but it's just regurgitation of the Instagram posts. So.
And my Facebook page is just me. You're just spamming memes rapidly.
Okay.
I also do have a website, tannertogle.com.
There you go.
I'm actually going to put some new prints up this week for sale, ones that I made for the Haverhill Comic Con.
And they're great prints. I will say I personally have a lot of them hanging up on my walls at home.
Awesome.
And highly recommended. If you want to pick them up at a con, I'll be there pitching them. So
throw them on the website. We'll check them out this week. And how about you, Jeff? Any social medias you want to shout out?
Yep, I'm on Instagram. It's Lorentz Artwork. I post at least once a week, and I'm always sharing what I'm working on. Like I said, I've been sharing the pages for the book and all that on there.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, check out Jeff's Kickstarter. It's going live this Saturday. And then the Ogle Brothers is 9 days left to back and out comes the comics anthology punk rock. And George Medina said, awesome show, fellas, as always. Good luck with the Kickstarters, Jeff and Ogle brothers. So
Thanks,
that's
George.
encouragement. And all three of you guys hit up George. He's on Catch the Craze podcast, and
Cool.
another great show for indie creators to go on and promote.
Oh yeah.
Kickstarters, and then great couple of dudes over there. So
and
those guys up.
I'd love to.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
I'd love to come back.
Thanks for having us.
When I got some more stuff to promote, I'll hit you guys up and see
absolutely. We love
everybody come on back.
Repeat guests. So definitely.
Yeah, no, you guys put on a great show, and it was great connecting with you guys. And Jeff, I mean, great seeing your art here as well. I'm looking forward to
Thank you, Haverhill, for bringing us all together.
I know,
It was great
I
meeting all
probably
you
wouldn't
guys.
have met you guys. Well, I bet I would have met all of you guys at some point at some show, but that's why the Haverhill one was good.
My later. I really
Awesome. Johnny, anything you want to shout out before we close out this episode?
Well, shout out to Haverhill Comic Con for being the gift that keeps on giving and providing us with new friends, right?
Yeah,
but because I'm on a time crunch, I'm literally going to say goodbye and shut the laptop. So, Travis, Tanner, Jeff, thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you guys.
Share your projects. We greatly appreciate it. And, just back Jeff when it launches on Saturday, and back the Ogle Brothers now because it's live.
Yep.
And I'm peacing out. Peace out, guys.
See you, man.
And last thing I want to say is you can find the links for both of these guys in the description for the video if you're watching this tomorrow or later this week. Back these guys, back indie creators. And that's it. We're going to wrap this one up. So any last words before we close out for the night, guys?
Stick it to the man.
Punk rock forever. All right. We will talk to you next Monday, and have a great week, everybody.